Welcome to the process. It is Wednesday, March 17th. 10-game slate today. That's going to be a fun one. We got a biggie here. We're going to have a ton to get through. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are. I hope you had a decent day yesterday. I did. It could have been really, really good, but I'll take just good. I can't complain too much. You just wish sometimes that when you have a lot of live bullets that one of them can catch, and I was like a half step behind the catch. So, oh well, what are you going to do? No real complaints. We're on to the next one. It should be a good one. Nice to see everybody in chat right now. Looks like we're pretty active already. I see the coffee cups in already. I haven't taken a sip yet. I'm kind of excited. 42 people, 23 likes. You guys are doing a great job already, but hit that like button as you get in the door. Subscribe to the channel and then hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. And if you want to sign up at awesemo.com, head on over, awesemo.com/join. Use the promo code Shamrock. Today's the last day. Get yourself an Awesemo Plus weekly membership for half off. Gambit, what did I miss? So I had 2 entries in the big FanDuel contest get to like 29th and 31st or something along those lines. So anytime you can put anything inside the top 50, you're live. Just didn't have the right sort of pieces all together. It's a shame, but you know, I'll take it. I had, I think, 9 lineups in the top 1%. So that's all you can ask for, really. Putting yourself in a position to succeed. Hopefully I can do that again today. That's the plan, at least. We'll see how far we get with that. Can't figure out where to put this microphone. I guess that'll work. Yeah, I had a bunch of Dame, tons of Victor Oladipo and John Collins and Moses Brown. I had all the right pieces, just not the right order. Needed just a little bit more. Yeah, KJ Jr. didn't ruin any lineups. He scored 20 points at the flat minimum. Your lineup was ruined elsewhere, Gambit. Oh, alrighty. Well, here's the deal. We got a 10 gamer. This is going to be... Ooh, sorry, guys. That was probably really loud. We got 10 games to get through. This is going to take a while. Gambit, 5,200. Oh, DraftKings. Gotcha. Yeah, he was not ideal on DraftKings then. Sorry about the music, guys. Didn't mean to do it. Hey, by the way, hang out for 5 seconds. I got to let my dog back into my bedroom. Or not. Thought I heard him coming up the steps. Apparently he wasn't. Okay. Well, sorry, pup. Hope he didn't want to do anything. Well, I think it's time for us to just dive in. What do you guys say? Yeah, that dog needs to get upstairs so I can actually let him into that room. Anyway, let's move on to Boston. Boston taking on. Let's start it off here. Izzy. Yeah, I'm trying to get good at checking the microphone to start the day. Kemba Walker, doubtful. Tristan Thomas. Shit, Tristan Thomas. Okay, it's that early. Never mind. Before we get started, cheers. Need to get a little bit of coffee in me. Here's to a 10-game slate. Big stuff today. I'm on everything. I'll be on live before lock tonight as well. So let's get it done. Here we go. Cheers. Jordan Klein. Morning. Ooh, hot coffee. Okay. So Kemba came out early yesterday, correct? He didn't make it to the... Did he come back in? No, he did come back in. Okay. Knew that he was out early for something. I don't think he's going to be playing on a back-to-back. But let's hash that out first. Apparently I closed that window. It's going to be a long morning, guys. I'm dragging a little bit. Okay, Boston. Last back-to-back. Kemba did sit. I'm going to... And the one before that. Okay, I'm going to have to assume that he sits. So let's take Kemba out of there. And let's figure this one out. Last time he sat, Javonte Green played 33 minutes. The time before that, Javonte Green played 13, but they played everybody. He played 23 the game before that. So, okay. That's fine. Let's think about this then. No Tristan Thompson, no Kemba Walker. We got 26 minutes out of Daniel Tice last night. He was highly efficient. We got 21 out of Robert Williams, so I'm pretty happy about my split from those guys last night. Don't think that'll change all that much for Cleveland. Grant Williams' minutes were fine. Semi's minutes were basically fine. Jeff Teague's minutes were down a bit. We do want to move those around. I would be surprised if they start Marcus Smart today. Smart played just consistent end of quarter rotations. I think that's probably the more likely scenario. What was he hurt with? Is it upper body or lower body? Left calf strain. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Marcus Smart doesn't play today. But I'm assuming they just continue to do the same rotation that they had. So I think a lot of the point guard minutes will go to Jeff Teague Javonte Green. Yeah, that's the more likely scenario, right? Peyton Pritchard probably gets, a couple extra minutes. But I think that looks a little bit more likely. I think we might be more likely to see Jeff Teague start, Marcus Smart close quarters like he did yesterday. But we do need to grab new rates with Kemba Walker off the floor. All right, let me shut my door. There we go. All right, so let's take Tristan Thompson off. Take Kemba off. Oh, guys, it's going to be a good day. I'm feeling it again. I'm feeling it. Putting the work in. If we put the work in, we will be rewarded at some point. That's the hope, right? All right, so getting both of those guys out is fine. I don't think we really need to remove anyone else. So Tice, I'm guessing, is fine there. Take him back up to his normal rate. Javonte Green, 13% usage in 161 minutes with no Kemba, no Tristan Thompson. So I think we can keep him where he normally is. But Jaylen Brown should see a bump. Yeah, he's going to go up to like 31. Jason Tatum should see a bump. He's going to go up to 33. They both get assist rate bumps. We need to run that up a little bit. Jeff Teague, 16% usage, so we can mostly hold true there. Marcus Smart actually does see a little bit of a bump. And then Robert Williams, I assume, is exactly the same. Let's go ahead and start this off. We'll see what we think of the Boston Celtics. There we go. All right, I might be a little high on Tatum, but I'm okay with it. I think Tatum and Brown are probably the only real pieces we'll be using here. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad. Look, it's not the best spot against Cleveland, but it's not the worst, I guess, is the best way to say that. Let's get Boston into the big table and let's keep it moving because we have a lot of teams to talk about. But out of the gate, Tatum and Brown both looking good. Brown better than Tatum on FanDuel. Tatum better than Brown on DraftKings. Morning, Thomas. Yeah, you guys, 104 people, 51 likes. You're doing pretty good. Pretty good, but I think we could do better. Let's move it on to the Brooklyn Nets now. So for Brooklyn, let's see. Any interesting news? No Durant, no Blake. That's fine. So this should largely be easy. TLC is TLC is healthy and played 1.7 minutes. That's fun. Where did Bruce Brown's minutes go? He was like the talk of the town for 2 weeks, and now it's just gone. All right, Indiana. Okay. So, are they? No. I guess Jeff Green is just playing less at the 5. We're going to go to 28 there. I don't really think that we're going to be changing much here. Shamet continued to maintain his minutes. TLC back. This rotation is pretty much set. I guess I do need to take off some of Bruce Brown's minutes, though. 3 straight games means it's got to be at least a little bit different. So we'll take him to 18. We'll give 3 of those minutes to Shamet. Another one to TLC. All these rates should be exactly where we want them to be. Can't really imagine needing to make any changes here. So Brooklyn is done already. That's easy. They're taking on the Pacers, 3.5-point favorites in Indiana. 232 total, though. And if we're just taking a look, I'm mostly happy with this. I assume that I'll have to bump up Harden and Kyrie at some point, but DeAndre Jordan is in play on FanDuel today. And I know that's not really a fun thing to say, but he is. Yeah, so James Harden is the top place so far. I don't think that there's anybody here that's going to be all that surprised with that information, but need to say it anyway. So Harden very clearly at the top, ahead of Brown, ahead of Tatum on both sites. Kyrie is probably like a half step behind Jaylen Brown on DraftKings, and maybe like a full step behind Brown and Tatum on FanDuel. But DeAndre Jordan for 4,300 on FanDuel, we're gonna have to pay attention to him. He's a perfectly reasonable value center option on a 10-game slate today. If he plays 30 minutes, like he can get there. It's not the worst spot against Indiana either. Patrick Bush, good morning. Good to see you. On to the Chicago Bulls. I can't get comfortable. Let's crack some things. Maybe not. There we go. That should be good. Probably not much to change for the Bulls either. Bulls on the back-to-back, still no Temple. Maybe Otto Porter doesn't play on the back-to-back, but everybody played their last back-to-back, so no reason to assume otherwise. All of these minutes should be fine unless someone had a particularly different outcome yesterday. We'll take 2 minutes away from Denzel Valentine, give a couple more to Archie. All right, Thad Young's minutes are starting to get a little weird. Don't think it's going to matter all that much because Chicago, and I don't care too much about any of these guys. Rates are going to be the same as they were yesterday. Bulls are taking on the Spurs. Actually, Bulls 1.5 point favorites at home against San Antonio today. So for Chicago, not much that I really need to tweak. Don't really have much to look into for any one of these guys. And it's not looking like the Bulls are grading out all that well. So this might be a largely a no-go. Yeah, like Zach LaVine is already behind Kyrie, so he's going to tumble. He's a play. I don't want it to sound like he's not. You should be rostering Zach LaVine for sure today. A little bit less so on FanDuel, but there are no priorities coming out of the Chicago Bulls. So we're going to have a lot of teams like that today. That's what happens when you have a 10-game slate. A lot of these teams are going to be mostly awful. Let's move it on to the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets taking on Denver. Not the best spot in the world for them. Any news on Charlotte? Nope. Everybody is healthy. So far, so good. It's always better when there's no news. All right, so for the Hornets, yeah, Biyombo is just playing minutes. It's fascinating. Are they running that straight 10-man? They are. All right. Zeller, I'm taking to 22 and 14. PJ Washington. Okay, so PJ Washington is the guy that needed to lose those minutes. 28 for PJ Washington feels pretty good. Rozier at 33, good. LaMelo at 32, that's fine. Pedro, no, I am not excited for the MLB season. I wish basketball was 24/7. If basketball existed every day of the year, I would not cover baseball. But I am excited for the baseball season because it's easier. I don't mean like from a DFS perspective, but from a content perspective. So I don't have to feel like I need to be around for news for most of the day. It's just lineup comes out and I'm good. I don't have to there's not a lot of deep thinking. So it's pretty good in the summers because I can kind of get away from the computer and spend some time outside. For the NBA season, it's a little bit tougher. All right, these Charlotte minutes are fine. Rates are already in. Not much change here to be made. So I think we're good there, and I don't think that we're going to be playing much of Charlotte. Hornets are 6.5-point dogs against Denver. And I'm not sure we're rostering much of anything from Charlotte today. Now, so if we thought the Bulls were bad, let me introduce you guys to the Charlotte Hornets. Maybe a little bit of LaMelo, maybe a little bit of Cody Zeller on FanDuel, but even still, like, Zeller's behind Robert Williams, he's behind DeAndre Jordan, so Charlotte is basically not on the table today. On to Cleveland. I need coffee in my life desperately. We are getting very close. Today is Wednesday. So I'm at one more week until Hole 30 is one more full week until Hole 30 is over. And that means that I will be able to start putting some sweetener back in my coffee and I can be happy again. It's not that I don't love it, but I love it even more when it tastes good. All right. Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't know if anybody got hurt yesterday. I assume they didn't. All right. Kevin Love, doubtful. Torian Prince, questionable. Andre Drummond, still out with nothing. So there's that. DG, I'm glad you like that, man. Couldn't figure out a way to explain what I wanted to do in a tweet. Play more, play less. All right. Dylan Windler is the guy that got pinched for minutes last night. And Larry Nance played 37 minutes yesterday. Really? Okay. Well, knowing that he can do that is interesting. Who do those minutes need to come from, though? I guess Dylan Windler, huh? We do want to get him up to like 31 since we know his ceiling is higher and he should play more because he's probably their best player. Yeah, I said it. 30 on Okoro? Yeah, that's fine. All right, so Cleveland looks fine. Rates should be right where we need them to be, so let's take a look at Cleveland. And in the least surprising situation in a while, they don't look great. Doesn't appear that we're going to be rostering much of Cleveland today. That is not at all surprising to me. Taking on Boston, big underdogs. It's a tough spot. We're through 5 teams, and there is not much good stuff on the slate so far, outside of one James Harden, and to a lesser extent, Tatum and Brown. Jarrett Allen actually is solid, probably pretty comparable to DeAndre Jordan, just at a different price tier. Nance, though, 4,900 on FanDuel. I will have no issue having some Larry Nance tonight. And 4,700 on DraftKings, even a little bit better there. So it's pretty much Nance, maybe a little Jarrett Allen. That's probably it. Garland for 6K on DraftKings is fine, but just filler. Mostly filler. On to Dallas now. Now we can see how does Luka stack up to Harden. Adaransky chalk again. Doubtful. What's his price? Maybe not doubtful, but he will get some ownership today. It's not going to be anything too extreme because it's a 10 gamer. Let's see. Somebody out for Dallas? Powell out again? Dwight Powell questionable with an illness. James Johnson out. What illness? I know it's non-COVID related, but what do we got going on here? Powell missed Monday's game. All right. I'm just going to take the 16 minutes I gave Dwight Powell and give him the Willie Cauley-Stein to start, and then we'll figure out if that's a good idea or not. Played 16 minutes. Cool. Don't even have to make a change to anything. Have I noticed the Bulls running a different rotation now? Yeah, Satoransky in the starting lineup, Thad Young in the starting lineup, Kobe White and Wendell Carter Jr. off the bench. Was smart. Kobe White and Zach LaVine don't play well together. Don't think I have much to change here. No, I think we're probably set here on Dallas. Luka, obviously, with the big minutes. No surprises there. Taking on the Clippers. So I am going to give him that 36th minute. Maxey at 30. Zinger at 32. DFS at 32. I think all of this seems fine. So let's take a look at Dallas. Man, I like it when I don't have any changes that I really need to make. So Dallas is late night hammer, 2.5-point dogs at home against the Clippers. I think I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, Luka projected pretty aggressively, but I think he's still going to be behind Harden. Dallas in. Yeah, so on DraftKings, I have Harden pretty firmly ahead of Luka, only $200 more expensive. On FanDuel, where Harden is $800 more expensive, I have it as basically a coin flip. So I do like both guys, and since they should, yeah, coin flip on FanDuel, Harden on DraftKings. There we go. On to Denver now. Yeah, 656, only 68 likes, 136 concurrent viewers. Guys, you're going to need to hit that thumbs up. We are getting dangerously close to the 7 o'clock window, and we are going to need an additional couple thumbs up so I can run some crunches and some optimals at the end of this bad boy. On to Denver. The Denver Nuggies taking on that Charlotte team. Man, I feel like I'm just talking about the same teams over and over. All right, no Gary Harris, no Monty Morris, no RJ Hampton. I did see a tweet yesterday that said, don't be surprised to see PJ Dozier start to guard LaMelo Ball, but I don't know. Sean, on my contenders videos, what's the difference between my projection and my goal? My projection is what I think that they're going to score. The goal is what I would like them to score in a GPP. Now I actually hear my dog. There we go. Now the dog can get back into bed. That's where we're at. All right, so this Denver rotation should be the same as it was, although it's looking like Zeke Naji is no longer in that rotation. They're going basically 8 deep now. Smart, Denver. Smart. All right, so let's hash out who that really affects. Jamal Murray, 36 minutes is always the same. Jokic, 36, always the same. Will Barton, good at 34. Michael Porter Jr., good at 32, but honestly could be more. If we just look at the last chunk of games, 30, 32 is going to have to be fine. Honestly, I think PJ Dozier is going to get an extra minute or two. I think Paul Millsap can get an extra minute or two. Michael Green feels pretty safe at 20. And then I'm just going to assume, I'm just going to give it straight to Vlatko Konkar. All these rates should already be set, so not too much to look at for Denver. Let's see where Jokic and Murray stack up against the rest of this slate. And I'm going to keep chugging coffee to try to wake up. So, all right, so Jokic is basically tied with Luka on DraftKings, but both Luka and Jokic are behind Harden. On FanDuel, Jokic is pretty firmly behind both guys. So he would be my third favorite pay up option. Just he's $200 more expensive than Harden. That's going to be a tough sell. On to Detroit. The Detroit Pistons taking on the Toronto Raptors, and I believe the Raptors are getting a lot of guys back. All right, we're up to 84 likes. We just hit the 7 o'clock mark. You guys should be able to push through that. No Diallo, no Killian Hayes, Ellington doubtful, DSJ questionable, Magruder questionable. We need to look into these. This is the first one that's not going to be fun. DSJ questionable. Missed 2 games, but it sounds like there's a chance he could play. Okay, that's fine. That's an easy fix. Magruder, elbow. Okay, I'm going to assume Magruder's good. So I'm just going to take the Saban Lee minutes. Give those to Dennis Smith Jr. Frank Jackson actually played pretty sizable minutes as well. In lieu of who? I feel like I probably need to take like 2 minutes away from Sadiq Bey. So let's do that. That's not how you type numbers. Sekou at 14, that's fine. 28-20 for center minutes, that's fine. Jeremy Grant, fine. All that seems fine. That's it for Detroit. And I assume this is just going to be Jeremy Grant and nobody else. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Matchup's going to even be harder, so. Pistons and Pistons. Jeremy Grant is like the edge of one of the good plays today. 7,300 on DraftKings, 7,200 on FanDuel. Looking like a lesser version of Brown and Tatum, which I think is oddly apropos. Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors should be relatively healthy. Yep. Everybody available for the Warriors, so that's good to know. Taking on Houston. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, this is the first one where we actually have to buckle up because there's no telling where this is going to shake out. All right. Wiseman played 28 minutes the last game. What was that rotation like? Because they were getting smiggity smack. He played the whole fourth quarter. Yeah. 28 minutes. Came out for the garbage time. So Damian Lee, Juan Toscano Anderson, and Alan Smilagic were all out of the rotation in the last game. That is interesting to see. I'm going to take Juan Toscano Anderson's minutes. I'm going to pull these minutes from Nico Mannion. And now I'm going to move some of these around. So I'm going to say Wiseman plays 23 minutes. I'm going to say Kevon Looney plays 11. Draymond at 35 seems... I'm going to give him 34. Okay. Haskell. 14 minutes seems fine. Kelly Oubre. First, let's take that minute from Wiggins. Put that there. Oubre at 33 minutes, I think is fine. Wiggins at 33 minutes, I think is fine. Bazemore at 14, cool. Jordan Poole, 19 minutes. I need to give him 1 additional minute. So then Nico and who? Who am I missing here that should be getting slightly more minutes? I mean, maybe I guess it's just Juan Toscano Anderson. He's going to be back in the rotation. So 12 there. Actually. 3 and 9 and 11. God, I hate the Warriors rotation, but unfortunately for us, they are playing the stupid Houston Rockets today. 10.5-point favorites in Houston. And we're going to be looking at 5 guys from the Warriors that are going to need to be rostered with some sort of regularity just because of the pace of this matchup and because of the matchup in general. So Curry is 9,800 on DraftKings. He's pretty much equal to Jason Tatum. You're going to be getting a lot there, but I think Wiggins looks like a guy you probably want to have like 10 to 15% of. Kelly Oubre, same story. Draymond Green, same story. On FanDuel, Wiseman is 3,800. You will need to look at him as a potential value center. Curry, again, right in that same group with like Tatum and Brown, so very live. Andrew Wiggins at 5,400 looks really good to me. Draymond at 6,700 looks like a nice option. None of these guys are like lock button plays, but the starting 5 for Golden State is going to be pretty necessary against Houston today. Good stuff. We're cruising pretty good here. On to Houston. And, well, we know what we're getting out of this team at this point. How many Q tags we got hung here? Yeah, okay. Awesome. So this is going to be impossible. They're on the back-to-back, and we have no idea what their current status really is. None of this information is going to be truly relevant. I'm not entirely sure that I can even make any adjustments right now. So do we expect Victor Oladipo to sit today? Can he even sit today? That's question number 1. So Oladipo sat here on the last back-to-back. 30 days. He sat the front end of this back-to-back. So in theory, we would assume that Victor Oladipo is sitting in this back-to-back. The problem is they played with 8 guys yesterday. So someone has to come back for them to be able to even play today. Or they're going to play with 7 and just fully punt the game. So the question is, who comes back? Is it Daniel House? Is it Ben McLemore? McLemore's on the sprained ankle. Probably only needed another day. House, I guess, is viable as well. The real question is, does Christian Wood play? Brandon and Dave, I was profitable yesterday. Had a couple live bullets on FanDuel, get into the basically, top 30 of the big FanDuel contest. Just couldn't get it done. Tons of Awesemo logos up there, though. The boss man, I think, finished 2nd or 3rd. I saw Tom up there. Saw Scoops up there. I know I saw a bunch of other names. All right. I think we have to assume that House and Wood play, that Oladipo doesn't. Oy vey. This is going to be a mess. All right, so Christian Wood is not coming back and playing large minutes. I'm going to say that both he and Justin Patton split the center minutes, 24-24. I think that I certainly don't expect Daniel House to come out and play a monstrous amount of minutes. So I would also like to give Daniel House 24 minutes. We're going to say that Kevin Porter is going to need to play 36 minutes, just full freight. I'm going to give 12 to Mason Jones. We'll see where we end up after that. Sterling Brown is probably going to play monstrous minutes. Kenyon Martin, I'm just going to give those 24 minutes now at the 4. We'll see who we need to add to shortly. Jayshawn Tate, I think 32 feels pretty realistic. So that leaves Anthony Lamb, Ben McLemore, and potentially more minutes for Mason Jones that I don't think are going to be viable because he never gets more minutes. So I think Macklemore would be the first guy to get additional run. So I'll give him those 12. And then I think he's just more likely to play more than Lamb. So I'm going to give Macklemore 20 and just 8 for Lamb. I mean, this is just, I don't even know what to make of some of this. Let's see if we can get an idea of where some of these rates need to be. All right, so let's take off Oladipo, Wall, Harden, Gordon. That's everybody, right? Hey, everybody with a pulse. Oh yeah, Cousins. All right, so Christian Wood, 29% usage. I think 29 feels about right for this particular game. Ben McLemore, 18.8. That's the same. Wow, it makes him go away. That's really weird. Daniel House, 15. Jayshawn Tate, I'm sure, is probably pretty comparable to where he normally is. Justin Patton, yeah. Kenyon Martin, needed more usage out of that bad boy yesterday. Kevin Porter. Yeah, it's just going to be Kevin Porter season here, right? It really just has to be. Yeah, I didn't have very much Jaylen Brown yesterday. He was kind of the guy that hurt me most. Although probably KJ Martin hitting a target score would have been enough for me. All right, I think that's. I mean, who has like a monstrous assist rate here? House, Kevin Porter. What does this end up looking like? All right, Houston. So they're 10.5-point dogs at home. Kevin Porter Jr. is probably the best play on FanDuel so far. Sterling Brown looks good. Jayshawn Tate looks good. Christian Wood is unplayable, which is helpful. They upped Kenyon Martin's price to 5K on FanDuel, so I don't have to worry about that as a value piece. But there's basically no way to avoid Kevin Porter Jr. tonight. Kevin Porter Jr. right now, the top play on both DraftKings and FanDuel for me, 6,300. I have him projected for 44 fantasy points, 1.22 pace up spot. I'm probably over projecting him a little bit, but at the same time, like, I don't think that 36 minutes is all that outlandish. I don't think 27% usage is all that outlandish. It's been higher. I mean, maybe I take 1 percentage point off of that. Maybe we say that he's not going to rebound as much. But even still. Yeah, so it'll be a lot easier to get to Kevin Porter on DraftKings. He's going to be unquestionably, I would imagine, unless there's a piece of news that I don't know that's coming. Kevin Porter Jr. on FanDuel at 6,300 is going to just be heavily, heavily owned, even on a 10-gamer. It'll be interesting to know who's in and out. Like, Porter Jr. will look better and better, if House ends up ruled out, or McLemore or Christian Wood. We have a lot to wait on for that Houston team. Luckily, that's at 8 o'clock, so we might actually have that news by the end, but tune in to Live Before Lock to find out. Let's move on to Indiana. Pacers. Jeremy Lamb, questionable. This, I assume, is just going to be the same rotation that it normally is. I can't imagine I'm really looking into this all that much. Karis LeVert, 29 minutes, fine. Brogdon, Sabonis, all that good stuff. I can't really conceivably make any major changes here. Indiana is just one of the easiest teams to project. Feels a little. I mean, this is a great spot for Indiana against Brooklyn. That's a really nice pace. I don't think that I have anybody projected all that wacky, so that seems fine for Indiana. I like these teams where there's nothing to do, guys. It makes this a little bit easier. All right, so LeVert still 4,400 on FanDuel. They're trying to ruin a slate. That's fine. Karis LeVert is 6,800 on DraftKings. So certainly Karis LeVert on FanDuel needs to be owned pretty aggressively. One of the 2 or 3 best plays on the slate. Don't really see anybody else. Like Sabonis is filler. Brogdon is filler. 10%ers on a 10 gamer. We'll see where they land in the power rankings when we finish this up. But for now, LeVert on FanDuel is the key piece. On to the Clippers. I assume somebody's still out. Still no Bev. Questionable tag on Serge Ibaka. What do we know? Sat out on Monday. I think we have to assume that Serge is playing. Only missed a game. Already a Q tag. So I think it's time to just... I'm going to gut this rotation for the Clippers and rerun it. Yeah, we have a premium Slack Gambit. Access to datas, projections, ownership, boom bust tool, articles, all that good stuff. Use the promo code Shamrock. You can get in for half off. Half off a weekly package. That is. Okay. So at center, I'm going to assume that Serge Ibaka is playing and playing his normal sort of 24 minutes. Put Zubac back at his normal run. And then Marcus Morris plays, I don't know, 28 minutes. No one-on-one coaching. Never one-on-one coaching. We do some private streams for just the subs, like Alex, Shanzan, DeColts, myself from time to time. It's kind of taking over that. But no one-on-one coaching. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right. Reggie Jackson, 26 minutes. Terrence Mann playing a little bit of backup. We'll give him 12. That gives Lou Will, I don't know, 24. Batum's minutes are down a little bit. Who are we missing? Oh yeah, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Just those two guys. All right, so Kawhi gets... I'm not giving Kawhi 38 minutes. We'll give him 36. Am I missing anybody else in this rotation? No. So 10 and 26. So 8 minutes left. Who am I short thrifting? So if Marcus Morris starts again, it's probably him. Maybe I should go 30 minutes. All right, so that's 6 minutes left. Spillover. All right, I went to Patrick Patterson when Ibaka was out. I don't think that'll be... So we can give spillover to Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard gets signed, doesn't play. Amazing stuff. All right, all these rates are still the same from when Ibaka was out. Clippers... Yeah, not like there was any big surprise here. The Clippers are just really hard to roster from a DFS perspective unless guys are out. Kawhi looks okay on DraftKings, basically equal to Jason Tatum, basically equal to Jaylen Brown. So whatever guy you want to use in that sort of group is fine. Kawhi Kawhi and Paul George just a little bit worse on FanDuel. George slightly better than Kawhi, just a little bit higher upside, but we're not really looking too much at the Clippers. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 teams to go. So we're well past the halfway point now. On to Memphis. I'm hoping this one's just obvious, but no Jaren Jackson, and that's it. We didn't have Justice Winslow the last time, so I do need to make at least one rotational adjustment. I assume that's Grayson Allen coming back out of the lineup. All righty. Morant, 34 minutes is good. Jovel at 30 feels good. Against Miami, yeah, that's fine. Brandon Clark's minutes are the worst. Melton at 21, I guess, is okay. He's been playing a little bit less than that, though, so it feels a bit incorrect. But I don't totally know who I'd give those minutes to. I'm going to take one of Melton's minutes away. You know what? No, that's fine. It's not going to matter. We're not playing Memphis against Miami. All the rates are in. They should be right. Memphis. Yeah, we're not really playing anything from Memphis today. All right, Memphis in for DraftKings. Memphis might be the worst team on the slate. I'm not seeing any real names at the top. Yeah, so I don't even see Morant's name here. Yeah, don't play anybody from Memphis today. Adam, Josh, good job, guys. It's always good to hear. And we're over 100 likes, so you guys are the best. We're feeling good. Slowly starting to wake up. On to Miami. What do we got going for the Miami Heat? No Iggy, no Avery Bradley, no Mo Harkless. So we'll take Iggy out of there. We know no Avery Bradley. Bill, happy to do this. Adam, I love you too, bro. Okay, so they're also pulling Precious out of the rotation. So let's try to hash this out then. Bam at 33 minutes, I think, is probably fine for right now. Goran Dragic, 28, I think is fine. Kendrick Nunn, I have at 18. That is likely low. Let's put 2 there. And 22. Bam at 33. I'm guessing it's just straight Kelly Olynyk backup center run. They're not playing anybody else that could possibly be playing those minutes. So that makes it easy. We'll go 15 here for Olynyk. And since he's playing 30 plus, we'll go 17. So that's 32 for Olynyk. Hero at 26. That is just wildly incorrect. We'll get him up to 30. So 31 minutes left over. KZ Okpala is certainly one of those guys that's going to pick up additional run. So let's give him 22. That still leaves me 9. So who takes Iguodala's 9 minutes? It's got to be Precious. 9 minutes for Precious. Rates should all be the same. So for Miami against Memphis, yeah, all that seems fine. We're not really... You guys can cross Miami, Memphis off the list of games that are viable from a fantasy perspective today because this one isn't it. Yeah, Jimmy Butler, 10-8 on FanDuel. As far as I'm concerned, mostly unplayable. On DraftKings, he's 9,700, and he is just sort of firmly in the mix of everyone else. So there's no viable Miami Heat players today that are like guys you have to have. On to Milwaukee. This one should be fun. If Jimmy sits, do you trust Bam? Yeah, probably. All right, on to Milwaukee. Not really going to be much to worry about here. These minutes are just going to be pretty consistent. Although we did see Brook Lopez get back up to 30 minutes. So I'm going to switch that to 28 and 20 onto Portis. Forbes minutes good. DiVincenzo at 27 seems fine. Yeah, all of this is pretty much spot on. We know the rates are going to be there for Milwaukee. No changes. I imagine this looks good. So Milwaukee against Philly, 235.5 total. We haven't even touched on Sacramento and Washington yet. 245.5 total on Kings Wizards. There's going to be so much to like. Yeah, we're going to be liking some Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I guess Drew Holiday to a lesser extent. All right, where does Giannis stack up against the other studs on the slate, at least for right now? So Giannis and Harden are equals on DraftKings. I cannot really separate them. Giannis and Harden are definitely ahead of Luka and Nikola Jokic. On FanDuel, I would say that Giannis and Harden are equals. I think Luka is probably in that same mix. I would rank them Harden, Giannis, Luka, but I think that you can go any direction on FanDuel, and that's fine. I would say Jokic is a clear 4, though. All right, there we go. Not too much longer, guys. Hit that thumbs up again, up to 185 people. This is pretty good. We're on to a Philly team now on the back-to-back. No Joel Embiid. Jacob Brown, contenders are both. It's cash games and GPP plays. There's no difference between the two of those things. GPP plays, cash plays are just the best plays on the slate no matter what. They're probably going to be highly owned. GPP plays are still the best plays on the slate no matter what. You just pay attention to ownership more. All right, so we've got 2 games straight with no Embiid. Do we have any other interesting news for Philly? Nope, just Embiid. So I'm glad that I was able to avoid the Tony Bradley nonsense yesterday. I'm going to continue to try to do that. 23 minutes here. Actually, I'm going to go to 22 and 23 because I think it's more likely we see more Dwight Howard. Mike Scott didn't play all that much. I pretty much smacked this rotation. I'm kind of happy about that. Danny Green played a little bit less than I was expecting in lieu of Furkan Korkmaz, but otherwise. Yeah, Philly should just look exactly like they did yesterday. So if that is the case, and we look at Philly here against the Milwaukee Bucks, the fact that they're only 5.5 point dogs is kind of crazy. Yeah, we're going to be going to Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris and probably still Tony Bradley. All right, Philly in. Philly in. All right, so not even really anything too high for Philly on DraftKings. Ben Simmons looking pretty comparable to like Jeremy Grant. Like Jeremy Grant's a decent comp, I guess, for Ben Simmons tonight. So I like him, but on FanDuel, it's a little bit different. Ben Simmons is 5th overall, 7,900. He's a pretty firm step ahead of Jaylen Brown at 73. If you're looking for that upper mid tier, Ben Simmons looks really good. That is certainly where I'm going. El Negro Loco, what up? The news god in the house. Looks like there were a lot of Awesemo logos. We got the winner of the 100K from FanDuel last night in this stream right now. Wade, you were at the top. I mean, wait, look at this. Like, I'll get to it faster on my phone just because I have it here. There's fast point scores at the top. Oh, it's all reversed. Never mind. I forgot I mirror my camera. Well, either way. Yeah, make sure you set aside for taxes. That's for sure. Tried to show you guys everybody that was on the screen, but we got half of the top of that contest. I mean, just reading it off. Fast point scores. You are here right now. You won it. Wade, you're here. Second. Awesemo in third. Tom in fourth. Or Awesemo in third. Tom in sixth. Alex again in seventh. Fast point scores again, 10th. I don't know who Jay or X Wody are, but 15th and 16th with Awesemo logos. Alex again into 20th. Scoops and Gene Kim in 20th. Jay again in 24th. I am in 29th and 33rd. The Ghost in 41st. Neil Corfield in 50th. Lots and lots of Awesemo logos at the top of that bad boy. Or at least guys that were here. Chris Jacobs, I'll give you some love as well. I don't know if you were in that contest, but you're up there. Yeah, I had two up there as well. It was a lot of live bullets. Invisible. My rule of thumb is just like I immediately take 30% of whatever I win and sock it aside for taxes. It'll fluctuate, but you're never going to be mad that you saved too much. And that should largely cover you. But you'll never be mad that you have too much set aside, because at the end of the year, if your tax bill is less than that, congratulations, it's a bonus. All right, on to Sacramento. This one's actually going to be really important given the game. Butho, get ready. The best play of the game is probably coming out of this one. Sacramento and Washington, 240 total. I didn't know Bagley broke his hand. When did that happen? Oh. All right. I didn't know Bagley was out, so this is even more ridiculous. Really, really ridiculous. Okay, so Bagley out. Whiteside and Woodard are both questionable. Okay. Yeah, this Sacramento-Washington game is gonna trip some people up. All right, so I think Rashawn Holmes is just gonna play like a pretty sizable amount of minutes. That's just gonna happen. Against Washington. Ugh. This game theory nonsense is awful. All right. Halliburton played 28 minutes. Let's gut those minutes too. Actually, we need to just start this from scratch. So Rashawn Holmes in for 34. De'Aaron Fox, 36. I can't go to 37 in this game or things might break. Not on fun. Maybe I can. No, I can. 37 here for Fox. We're going to give 11 here and 19 here for Halliburton. I think Halliburton gets the 30. Corey Joseph, I'm just going to give 20 minutes here. That gives me 9 for Buddy Hield. And then 21 to 28. So that's 37. And then I'm going to give Harrison Barnes 37 as well. So I got 45 minutes left for, Bielitsa, backup center. I'm guessing they do run Whiteside if he can play, but not enough that it matters. So I'm going to give Whiteside the full backup center run. I'm going to give Bielitsa how long ago has it been since Bagley was out? More than a month. Okay. I think B Jelly gets to like 24 minutes. And that leaves me 7 minutes left over. I'm just going to give those to Justin James. We're going to need new usage rates because Bagley being off the floor is clearly a big-time deal, especially in this game. We can't afford to not get Sacramento right. So we take Bagley off. And honestly, that's probably all we really need to take off, huh? So in this case, we'll work our way down. Wade, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. All right, so Buddy Hield at 19%. Good. De'Aaron Fox, 33%. Harrison Barnes usage rate, 19% with no Bagley. Rashawn Holmes, no Bagley, 18% usage rate. Slightly higher rebounding rate. Halliburton, just normal. Whiteside, Bielitsa. What do we got here for Sacramento? Because this is going to be problematic. Oh, yeah. We're going to be getting a lot of Fox, a lot of Holmes. Both guys looking good. Sacramento into the table. Okay, so Fox is 7th overall on DraftKings. Probably pretty comparable to like Kawhi, Tatum, and Brown, but I think Fox has a much higher ceiling for a GPP. I think he just has a more highly variant outcome. On FanDuel, by the way, Holmes 6,700. Looking like one of the better center options on DraftKings. Holmes 6,900. Looking really good. Probably have him like a hair behind Jokic, but not all that much. Most likely the highest owned center, if I had to guess. Fox comes in 9,100. That price tag sucks, but he's ahead of Brown and Tatum. Looks good. Dan T, good morning. It's just going to be really difficult to get away from Sacramento and the Wizards, for that matter, just because of the pace of this game. Hard to answer that question, Wade. It all depends on, the contest, the payout structures. I crunch like 2,500 lineups, so I hash out everything out of there. Different contests get different ratings. On to San Antonio. The Spurs. Anybody out? Anybody back? No DeMar, no Aldridge, no Keita Bates-Diop. So we're doing the same thing we've been doing. Okay. Most of these minutes should be okay. Keldon Johnson probably needs a couple more minutes. Eubanks, Jakob Poeltl both look okay. I don't really have any changes to make for the San Antonio Spurs. These guys are easy. And I assume they look terrible because this game is terrible. Spurs, favorites. No, underdogs by 1.5. Anybody upset about Kira Lewis's minutes last night? I mean, I hope not. Am I a little light on DeJounte and all the Spurs? Even if I am, I don't care. It's the Spurs. All right, Spurs in. Spurs in. 2 to go, guys. Nothing to like for the Spurs. I can't even hit on it. Yeah, Kira Lewis was not a guy that you should have been even remotely worried about his minutes. To the point that I had to go look. I didn't even know if you meant it like he had a lot. He was so unplayable yesterday. All right, Toronto Raptors. This one's big because from what I understand, we might have some of these guys back. What was that tweet from yesterday? 'Cause, 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 'cause El Negro Loco, if you're there, do you remember what's going on with the Raptors? Let's look at this. So Siakam. These guys are finally out of quarantine, although Siakam and Flynn are being listed as questionable. Fred VanVleet is doubtful. I think that we're going to have to go with like Pascal Siakam being in. OG Anunoby is still out. VanVleet is out. So Siakam is the one. I don't really feel like projecting Pascal Siakam into this game. I don't think he's going to play. All right, what's Woj just tweet? Raptors clear Siakam, VanVleet, Flynn, and McCaw to practice tonight ahead of tomorrow's game. All right, what time is this game? How much do I have to care? Okay, it's the 7 o'clock start, so I don't even care what I do here. I'll take Watanabe's minutes. We'll gut Stanley Johnson. Henry Ellenson will not see the floor. That gets me 26 minutes. I'm not digging into this one all that much. We don't have enough news. It's half the team. I can't make any real stances here, and Toronto plays the Pistons, and it's not a very good game. So until we figure out really where we need to be, we'll need to wait until 1:30 to actually get an idea. $28-20. DeAndre Bembry should see some less time. I'm going to call that good enough. Hey, Gambit, man, you need to chill out for real. Just because people work for the website doesn't mean they are technical support. I don't think the cashier at Chick-fil-A is also the CEO. Yeah, I am not digging too far into this Raptors team today. There's basically no chance Toronto looks good, right? Okay, so Kyle Lowry is a problem. 8,300 on FanDuel is actually viable. 1.23 fantasy points per minute over the last 30 days. I've got him projected at 1.17. I don't think that's crazy. Even if Siakam's back. I don't have anybody truly projected crazy, so Kyle Lowry will still get some action depending on who comes back today, even though he is priced out. But not to any degree that it's a problem. And then we're at the final game for final team, Washington Wizards. And this one's really important because they play Sacramento, and that's gross. For the Wizards, Q tag on Neto. Bertan's probable. So just treating it like everybody's in. Oh, Cantor. $36 for Russ. 36 for Bradley. Rolo 22, okay. Alex Len, I don't think plays 22 in this particular spot. Honestly, this feels like more of a Mo Wagner game now. I don't think Len is going to start this game. Denny, 24 minutes. playing bigger minutes than that, even with Bertans in. Rolo played 8 minutes that last game. Who the hell was playing center? I guess Rui, huh? This team is weird, man. Team is really, really weird. I have no idea how to project them. This is just going to have to be fine. I'm going to take... Rui played 30... Yeah, I'm just going to give Rui another 2 minutes. So, Beal and Westbrook, and that's basically it. But you're going to need both of them today. No surprises there. Guys, we're done. We got through a 10-game slate. That's probably as quick as it's ever been, honestly. Hit that like button now, guys. 205 of you in here. We're about to run some crunches, figure out some optimals. I need to grab... Ooh. I need to look at that then. Super draft multipliers. We'll be on... No extra time for Super Draft tonight because we've got a bracket show coming on afterwards, but Super Draft locks at 8. I do want to run a Super Draft Optimal as well. I think I'm going to start doing a Super Draft Contenders video as well. I think that's going to happen, or at least some sort of video content for Super Draft. So 10 games in an hour and 15. News God, man, that's not bad, right? Salaries. Okay. So we are at the end of the rope, which means it is now time to figure this out. Optimal lineup on FanDuel. This could be really anything today, and I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I can't get a feel for this slate. It seems pretty hard so far. A lot of very like plays. We'll see where that actually ends up. All right, optimal lineups on FanDuel. First run. Ben Simmons, Jamal Murray, James Harden. Actually, this is going to be incorrect in a way. I need to fix KJ Martin. Where is he? Somewhere in the 90s. KJ Martin. Not going to be the same problem that it's been. There we go. Should be the same optimal. Yeah. Ben Simmons, Jamal Murray, James Harden, Karis LeVert, Jaylen Brown, Kevin Porter, Jason Tatum, Tony Bradley, James Wiseman. There we go. That's a decent optimal. We move to the next one over. We swap Murray and Harden for Luka and Paul George. So that's how you can tell like how difficult a slate is going to be. I have my top 2 lineups are separated by 1/10 of a point, and the 2v2 is Luka and Paul George, Murray and James Harden. That's just tough. That's just top. That's like super, super tough. I don't really know what to make of Tomas Satoransky's minutes. That's the problem with him starting. He did get 30. I think I'm probably underrepresenting him. So what I am going to do, because I want to see what happens if I give him 2 additional minutes. I got him in for 26 right now. I'm going to make that 28. And we're going to rerun that just in case. I want to see if that pushes him into an optimal situation. I assume that it doesn't, but I do kind of want to know. Look, Cody, there's a difference between cash plays and GPP plays. Okay, so still no, it didn't get him in there with 2 more minutes. Same optimal, so that's good to know. Let's take a look and see what we've got for power rankings. All right. FanDuel power rankings are... Yeah, I'm on the strategy show, Thomas. Tuesday through Friday. Alrighty, power rankings looking scary. It's just a day where I think that I'm going to end up with like 70% Kevin Porter Jr. and like 80% Karis LeVert and then 15 to 20 of everybody else and hope that I get the right combination. So Kevin Porter, Karis LeVert, Ben Simmons, James Harden, Rashawn Holmes, Jeremy Grant, Andrew Wiggins, Giannis, Jaylen Brown, Bradley Beal, Tobias Harris, De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray. That is the top of the heap for the power rankings for today. Loaded with actual name value players. It's going to be a very tricky slate. Ownership is going to be incredibly important. Thoughts on Jordan Poole to get blowout run? That is not something that I'm thinking about on a 10-game slate. You guys got to play better players. Just full stop. He shouldn't even be someone you think about. Jordan Poole's name shouldn't even be on the list of things that you want to do. Did he even show up? No. I ran 500 lineups with aggressive randomness, and Jordan Poole didn't show up in one of 500. He is fully unplayable, as are largely most of the slate. Okay, so I uploaded, here's a good example. I uploaded projections for 199 players. Here's how many actually showed up in any one of those crunches. So that's the first page, gone. 20, no. Page 2, 20 more, gone. So that's 40 guys down. Page 3, none of these guys showing up. Zilch. That's 60. Barely showing up here. I would wipe all of those guys out. So whatever it was before, I'm taking 80 guys clean out of my player pool, in theory. At best, 120. And I would probably shave out anybody that's not in like 5%. Like, I don't mean truly shave them out. I just don't assume that they get into my 150 if you're not in like 5% of lineups out of the gate. That's how far away Jordan Poole is. You just can't play those guys. On to DraftKings. I think that's truly like the biggest secret to DFS that people overthink. People don't play the best players nearly as much as they should and try to get different with guys that they shouldn't have. All right, DraftKings optimal lineup. There's your boy Saturansky. So Saturansky, Bradley Beal, Sterling Brown, Nemanja Bjelica, who's 3,700. That's very interesting. Rashawn Holmes, Kevin Porter Jr., Giannis Antetokounmpo, and $4,100 Marcus Morris. Only change in the... I have 3 optimals, all at 291 on DraftKings. Do I get any more? Nope. Okay, so 3 lineups, all the same. We can swap off the first, and they all spend the 50K. Giannis, Bjelica, Holmes, Saturansky, Sterling Brown, and Kevin Porter are all in all 3 of them. There we go. Let's look for power rankings for DK. Yeah, I don't think it would be crazy if Bjelica started for Sacramento. They have a ton of different options depending on which direction they want to go. So I don't really have a feel for it yet. That'll be something that I'll dig into a little bit further throughout the day. We'll have that information on Live Before Lock. But with Bagley out, I mean, it's a very distinct change of rotation. Bjelica, here, let's pull it up. Halliburton, Fox, Holmes, Buddy Hield, and Barnes started the second half. I'd be surprised if they start Halliburton. I see why. I know that why they would do it in the second half. I'd be surprised if they started him in the game itself. Not terribly surprised. I wouldn't surprise me if they started Corey Joseph instead and moved Barnes to the 4. You could easily start Bielitsa and have Barnes at the 3. I don't think either one of those things are too crazy. Let's finish off this DraftKings power rankings. DK power rankings. Yeah, they're so like Halliburton closing is very different. I would expect that they want to stagger them a little bit, but I did see a report that they wanted to play him and Fox together more, so who knows? All right, DraftKings power rankings. A little bit more gross than it is on FanDuel, that's for sure. All right, it's stabilizing a bit. Sterling Brown, Kevin Porter Jr., Nemanja Bjelica, Tomas Satoransky, Rashawn Holmes, Larry Nance, Giannis, Marcus Morris, James Wiseman, Kawhi, Brown, Teague, Fox, Halliburton, James Harden. That ain't bad. Feeling like I'm a little too high on Sterling Brown right now. So I am going to take a little look-see. That'll help. And now we will be on to the final optimal lineup crunch. That would be for Super Draft. One last time, guys. 217 people in here. Hit that thumbs up. Going to be doing more Super Draft content in the near future. Going to slowly move some of my volume over there, too. I think it's a good spot to be. What the hell are my Super Draft projections? Okay, there they are. All right, Super Draft. All right, Super Draft Optimal. Legalized. I'm looking at you. Okay. DeJounte Murray, 1.4x multiplier. Tatum at 1.2. Colin Sexton at 1.55. Kawhi Leonard at 1.2. Sterling Brown at 1.95. And then Luka and Jokic, both at 1 multiplier. Interesting. Let's take a peek at what the power rankings on Super Draft look like, and then we are done. Alrighty, so power rankings on Super Draft are stabilizing pretty well. Sterling Brown at the 1.95 multiplier. And so much of the Sterling Brown, just to talk about it, so much of the Sterling Brown projection is going to be based on who's healthy for the Rockets. I mean, that we're going to move stuff around there, whether it's Oladipo in or out, Christian Wood, Daniel House, McLemore. That one's going to be up in the air, but the way I have it now is a lot of Sterling Brown. So Sterling Brown, Kawhi, Jason Tatum, Colin Sexton, DeJounte Murray, Jaylen Brown, Nikola Jokic, Luka, Zinger, Butler, Levine, Murray, Markkanen, Wiggins, and Morant. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff, which means we're actually done. Ooh, 10 games, man. Oh, stretch it out, guys. It was a good one. It was a good one. We have a relatively small slate tomorrow, I think. If we look at tomorrow's slate, yeah, so just a 6-gamer tomorrow. We can be casual. That'll be pretty easy. And then we're back to another 10-gamer on Friday. That's going to be a lot. So tomorrow will be kind of easy. We got some of this. If you guys have any questions, show up tomorrow at 6:30 because we'll have a little bit more time to deal with just random stuff. We'll be able to get through 6 games pretty easy. Strategy show for me today is myself and Laffy. So we'll be doing this one again. 10 games too. It's going to take a while. Can't take too long though. I've got a haircut at noon. What else we got? Anything? I think we're good. That's it. We're going to call it. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it a ton. Please hit the like button on your way out the door. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Sign up at awesemo.com. Go to awesemo.com/join. Use the promo code SHAMROCK, SHAMROCK, Last day you can do this because happy St. Pat's, everybody. I should have put like a green tint on the screen or something. That would have been fun. Anyway, last day you could use that code. Get half off your first week of Awesemo Plus. Contenders videos will be out shortly. Strategy show with myself and Laffy, and then live before lock tonight with myself, Greg Ehrenberg. Plus, we got a bracket show tonight. Ben Raza and Matt Kajeski doing that bad boy. It's all good stuff. So, adios, everybody. Good luck tonight. Peace.